Welcome everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the America's Voice. Excited to have you guys here with your stellar, super, supreme captain. For the beginning of the week, yes, I am the starting pitcher. I am the starting batter. Yes, I am the all-star as well. And I'm going to shoot it to you straight, unhinged and unfiltered, right here on the America's Voice. Glad to have you guys here November 1st. 2020, excited than less than 2 days away. We will be electing a president that will lead this country in the direction of greatness still. Just before we get going, you guys can find other episodes of The American's Voice over at SoundCloud, that platform there. Also, too, if you want to shoot me an email, you can shoot me an email at theamericasheartbeat@yahoo.com. It is americasheartbeat@yahoo.com. So glad to have you guys here where everyone's opinion and voice is welcome. Mainly mine, me being the host. But I want to start off this morning and talk about the so-called civil unrest. For months, they've been talking about a certain event that was going to happen possibly or potentially if the wrong person's elected. And so we need to get off into that today and kind of expose these snakes for who they are. Snake oil salesmen is what I call them. But the civil unrest is supposed to be coming. And so the open of the show, I want to talk about it just for a few minutes. Because based on intelligence, based on word of mouth, based on the atmosphere in the country, they're looking to cause problems. BLNM and the like. The Antifa people out there are constantly rebel rousing, causing problems, stirring up havoc, claiming to love the country, but they don't. These people are extreme frauds to the core. So, but with their divisive ways, the Democratic Party has always attempted to sway the vote against us. They don't want us in this country to go and vote. And so when you see the media peddling a narrative, you see the media full-throated supporting one candidate. Let's be clear here, guys. The media is an extension, an appendage of the Democrat Party. These tech agencies, they're an appendage and an extension of the Democrat Party. If you go in and truly do research and look at the demographic as far as their political views, their work environment, their employees, high level Democrat. Or let's just say this, they're liberal leftists. That's what I'll call them. But they're going to try to push this violence to the country. And I want every last one of you Americans to hear what I'm saying. They want you to live in fear. You hear Joe Biden recently here. You look at Trump rallies, and his rallies are beautiful. They're big. They're packed. Red, white, and blue. Everyone's excited. And then you look at the other side. We have a person talking to cars. I think we should make another Disney movie. Pixar's coming together again. There he is, Mr. Joe Sleepy Biden. The guy's been lying for a long time. And he's lied to the American people. He's lied to his other senators. He's lied to the country, which us Americans, we've had it. So for 47 years, you have all the answers, right? Why haven't you done it yet? And that's the question everybody should ask of Mr. Joe Biden before you put your ballot in that box. Really think about who you're voting for. We're making our last stand, our last appeal, our final closing arguments, so to speak, to help everyone understand that, we're in the fight of our life. And it's imperative for us to be informed. That is the reason why the America's Voice was created for you guys. To where we can have a voice, because no one says a lot of times what we want to say because they're disconnected, or sometimes they're far away, or sometimes they hit topics that you might want them to talk about. For the most part, though, when it comes from a perspective of down here, ground level, there's a different mentality. There's a grittiness to it. But they want us to live in fear. They want us to cooperate, hiding in our houses, living in fear, tucked away down there in the basement, to be other little Joe Bidens. I don't think so. And we're running from a fear. We're hiding from a disease that you can't even see. So the fear of something in the air. Oh my gosh, the China virus is around the corner. Around the corner. You can save this many lives if you grab a mask. Aren't you guys tired of this crap? I would be. How about you? Because it's the same playbook year in and year out. The same playbook to say your opponent, he wants to take your health care. Your opponent, he wants to take away women's physical rights for their, for what they do with their body. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I want to continue to stay on what I'm attempting to say here. They want all of us to live in fear of a disease. So it brings us to this point of the civil unrest being penetrated in the American public for the American people, or to them. They want to inflict fear on everyone and stoke that fear in your heart. They want you to stay right where you are in your living room with a bucket of popcorn, watching the little numbers go up and down and see who's going to win and not want to go and vote. Your little popcorn, your little soda, you drinking your soda, you're looking at it, you hear a noise, you turn to the window, you excited, go back to eating your popcorn again. There you are, eating your popcorn. Oh, look, Gertrude. Joe Biden, he's up in Pennsylvania. A little bit later. Oh my gosh, Gertrude. Joe Biden is getting lambasted in Pennsylvania. Oh, not just Pennsylvania, Delaware. Oh my gosh, they're right in his own state. This is what they're fearing, and that's why Joe Biden is coming unhinged. You see him on the campaign trail, him talking to cars, trying to drive up excitement, which isn't there, and enthusiasm. And we're going to talk about Mr. Obama too in just a little bit here. Because Obama, you just ain't got it no more, bruh. But they've been making this point for months. They've been talking about it, pushing the vote in mailing. You got to vote in mail because of the coronavirus. I'm going to get sick. Instead of protecting those who are vulnerable mostly, using common sense measures and practices that'll keep the American people safe and allow the economy to grow and kick butt, they'd rather shut every damn thing down. Why? Because it fits their narrative. It fits what they want to happen. They want everyone to be confused when they go to vote. And by that suppression of that vote, by them turning that vote to a Democrat ticket type vote, you are now saying that I want you to take care of me from cradle to grave. That's what you're basically saying. But that just won't do. So they've been putting these little bugs out there to the American people's ear, talking about a possible delay. So many months talking about mail-in voting and building the crescendo, or the conversation starts to swell and grow about there's going to possibly be a delay in the election because all the mail-in votings and the overwhelming the postal services and Trump trying to remove mailboxes and all the garbage you guys heard about him removing mailboxes. When they found out it was the Obama administration removed about something to the tune of 14,000 postal mailboxes, the boxes you drop your mail in across the country. But they took that and they put it on Trump. You notice the Democrats, my wife calls them the Demorats or the Demon Rats, okay? The party of abortion, the party of Jim Crow, the party of slavery segregation laws, the party of Joe Biden, the party of him not wanting his kids to grow up in a racial jungle, the party of if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, the party of these blacks out here, they're super predators. So they're not just predators, they're super predators. So they're like on steroids, right? Look, ladies and gentlemen, the black men, according to Joe Biden, they're on steroids and they're super predators. But let's walk that conversation back. But if they're talking about a possible delay of an election, ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to bypass the American people. But first, this is what I believe. They're constantly talking about the delay, right? I'm looking at this and I'm like, a delay. Yeah, I guess if you have problems with the post office, I guess if you have problems with mailing and things like that, you have the evil ogre, the orange man in the White House still taking names, kicking butt. But they have a problem. But here's the problem. If there's going to be a delay, hear me out, guys. If there's going to be a delay in the election, why is everyone talking about civil unrest on election night? Let me repeat that again. If they're talking about civil unrest, building up months and months of mail-in voting, all the crap they were spitting out there, the media pushing lies, Trump removing mailboxes, Trump out there stopping people from voting, suppressing the black vote, suppressing the Hispanic vote. He doesn't want people to be able to mail their votes in. He wants them to show up in person so they can catch COVID or the China virus. If all this stuff came to November 3rd, and everyone suspecting that it's going to be delayed, not just for a day, but maybe days, maybe weeks. If everyone is saying this, why are we going to so-called riot and tear America up on election night? You don't even know who the president is. Is that not a good point or what? Let me tell you why. You guys ready for a secret? Ready? No, I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm going to tell you guys, right? Because they know Donald Trump is going to win in a landslide. That's why. And I'm thinking it's a massive landslide. So they're giving dual messages here. People boarding up their windows all across America. Businesses that we've shopped at, patronized, sat in, years out, decades in, decades out. But all of a sudden we're boarding things up for a result that we're not going to get on November 3rd. So they say it's going to be delayed. That doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't make sense at all. Here's the reason why they're going to riot. Here's the reason why people are boarding up their windows. Here's the reason why they're breathing threats. Because they know he's going to win. Can I drop the mic? No, that mic. I don't want to break my mic. I'll do that later. Anyways. And what about the libertarian vote? What's with those guys? What a wasted vote. You know the Libertarian Party hasn't grown in like 18,000 years. There he is over there. There's Jane. She has on her green clothes looking like a leaf of lettuce. And she's over there pushing her Libertarian Party. And I mean, I can see if they were even half the size of the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, hey, I would say they're in the conversation. But they're not. And they're stealing and ciphering votes away from the American people. And they cost some people elections. Anyways, speaking of elections, that was a little bit I had to get off my chest because these people are incredibly dumb. And the things they do and say just doesn't make sense. And mind you, if it did, I would totally be in support of it. But it isn't. So that's where we are, America. That's where we are with the stupidity of these jokers out here. But I want to get off into Donald Trump lately has been having endorsements. A whole lot of endorsements. I mean, many endorsements. And one of the endorsements that kind of got people's attention came around about a week and a half ago. It was 50 Cent. Oh, excuse me. Let me say his name the right way. 50 Cent. 50 Cent. Okay. But I have to applaud 50 Cent because 50 Cent is a businessman. 50 Cent understands that it takes dollars and hard work and effort and a plan to come up to make more dollars. And it doesn't make sense if you don't do the basics. But 50's looking at the situation and says, I don't want to become 20 cents. You're going to take 62 cents up to off of every one of my dollars here in New York. I'm not with that, man. New York pays some of the highest taxes in the country, hands down. And why is it these liberal states are the ones that are such high taxes? Let me tell you why. Because they're leftists, they're liberals, they're loony bins, and they're mental patients. And I think I want to talk about some climate change mental patients later, possibly. But then we have the endorsement of Lil Wayne. We have the endorsement of Ice Cube. We have the endorsement again of Kirstie Alley. And then there is a plethora of celebrities coming out that are sick of Follywood. It's fake. So I use an F, not Hollywood. Celebrities became celebrities many years ago. They used to be movie stars. Remember that? When they had you saw the movie star, you just felt something inside you. You felt excited. You wanted to be like them. Nowadays, everybody looks like each other and no one has no authenticity, no originality, no realness to themselves, no grit. They're pansies for Washington, and they're an appendage of the Democrat Party too. And don't let me get on them. While Trump is pulling Japanese voters, Korean voters, Latino voters, Amish with their little hats out there voting for Trump en masse, nuns, Trump mask across their face. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are in the midst. You are witnessing one of the greatest flurries of a political or a politician or non-politician, a political figure in American history. Donald Trump is the Renaissance man. He's bringing a renaissance back to America. He's bringing pride back to America. He's bringing the greatness of this country. You look at the rallies, red, white, and blue. We're bleeding that. And we don't take a knee when we say the national anthem. That's America. Anyways, our incredible president, he's picking up endorsements. The first Republican president endorsement in 48 years. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette endorses Trump. How did that happen? And I'm going to hit this real quick, and I encourage you guys to go over and check it out because this is absolutely fantastic. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette endorsed President Donald Trump 3 days before the election Saturday in the paper's first Republican presidential endorsement since 1972. Can you guys imagine, for those who aren't born back then, what 1972 was like? The mentality of the people in the 70s. You got to figure they're coming off of that era in the 60s, the segregation, the racism and all that stuff, the bigotry, bricks through windows, crosses burning in the yard, and people assassinating their own leader. What happened to JFK was absolute tragedy, but that's a side note. But that time, America was so different. The unified spirit that America had, even in the midst of segregation, Americans knew who they were. They knew what country they represented. And they didn't bash it. They never wanted to go anywhere else. And even back then, people that were trying to break into this country were doing it back then. A testament to American exceptionalism. A testament to American greatness. We share the embarrassment of millions of Americans who are disturbed by the president's presidential manners and character. I know you're like, oh, well, Yanni, I thought you were, he was endorsing him. Let me finish. We share the embarrassment of millions of Americans who are disturbed by the president's unpresidential manners and character. The paper's editorial board wrote before adding, but he gets things done. Isn't that what it's about? Getting things done when it really counts? Donald J. Trump, you look at his record, it counts and speaks for itself. Kind of goofy looking? Yeah. Kind of orange? Yeah. Kind of rough around the edges? Yes, he is. But he gets it done. And that's what everyone wants. They want results. The Pennsylvania paper emphasized Trump's accomplishments on the economy and trade while lauding the president for keeping his promise to appoint originalist judges. You guys understand how huge that was. First of all, him exposing the list and giving us a list to go by. Under Donald Trump, the economy pre-COVID boomed like no other since the 1950s. Look, and I'm going to talk about Obama in a little bit here. We're going to wrap him up in a nice little pretty package, and we're going to ship him and the rest of the Democrats down a hole somewhere. And they'll have to stay down there in perpetuity till they learn how to love this country. Anyways. But look at your 401ks over the past 3 years. Unemployment for black Americans is lower than it's ever been in under any president of either party. So this guy isn't being biased. It doesn't matter if it's look, I got a saying I say, ladies and gentlemen. I say figures don't lie and liars don't figure because they can't. And so the facts and the numbers are on the side of the president, despite of what Obama says, despite of what Biden says. Those things are all irrelevant because it's just not true. So unemployment for black Americans is lower than it's ever been under any president or either party. The editors explain, under Mr. Trump, our trade relationships have vastly improved and our trade deals have been rewritten. Thanks to him, middle America is on the map again. Appalachian and hourly workers has some hope. Go check out that article. It's over at the Federalist. Great piece. But Trump is picking up endorsements left and right. And I've never seen anything like this before in my life. Because in the midst of him picking up these endorsements, you have the endorsements from pretty much almost every police union in the country. You're getting endorsements from black celebrities, black athletes, sports figures. They're out there. Brett Favre. Oh my gosh. Brett Favre came and said, I'm endorsing the president. Isn't that not huge? And think about the swath of supporters that come along with that endorsement. Now, everyone's not mindless minions, ladies and gentlemen. But think about the swath of supporters that come with them. One more. Yes, media are rigging the election against half of the country. Here's how. It's another piece I call at the Federalist. I want you guys to encourage you guys to go take a look at too as well. Even if Donald Trump had lost 2016 election, it says, instead of won in a surprise, the media's coverage of his campaign and supporters would have been a horrific failure. They presented that race as an unwinnable for Trump, as is for supporters was inexplicable. Now, you remember she was Hillary Clinton, the unbeatable. She was supposed to beat Trump by like 1,000,001 or something like that. This astronomical number. And they were wrong. But their response to their failures in 2016 has not improved their journalism in any way, shape, or form. The media is corrupt. They said they were going to change. You guys remember that? Oh, we're going to change. We're going to go back, and if you guys give us a chance again. They said that. You guys remember that? Wish I had that clip. So, but to decide that they didn't do enough to the bias, that election in their preferred direction. Their nearly 4-year temper tantrum has resulted in the far worse 2020 campaign coverage than ever the depths of 2016 ever seen, basically. As if they looked at Candy Crowley debate in 2012 when she went out of her way to back Barack Obama. You guys remember that, right? When she said something false, and it viewed them as a model, because when he was going against Romney at the time, Obama, when he said something that was false, it was viewed as a model, not as an embarrassment. So that's kind of like someone saying or making an error. Oh, don't worry about it. And so what they do with these Democratic candidates, or just Democrats for that matter, they cover for them. But here's what she goes off, and I'm gonna hit these bullets real quick. 1, refusing to do journalism on Joe Biden. This is how the corrupt media is rigging the election or trying to rig it or rig our minds. Refusing to do journalism on Joe Biden. On October 14th, the New York Post posted and published a story about Hunter Biden. He was introduced as father to a top Ukrainian businessman. This contradicted Joe Biden's often repeated claim that he had no knowledge whatsoever. He lied. 2. And then also when it came out, here's the ratings here. How many times did the mainstream media mention it on this particular morning? ABC, 0. CBS, 0. NBC, 0. CNN, 0. MSNBC, 0. She said the bias is unreal. 2. Slavish devotion to obviously wrong polling. Another way to incorporate the corporate media has been rigging elections has been through their polling narratives. For months, the media has been relentlessly pushing the narrative that Trump could not win 2020 election using COVID-19. You guys know this. Using COVID as a backup. Okay? So they use that crap. And they almost seem to be in a contest to see who can make the most outrageous claim about a given state. In 2016, Rear Clear Politics, average of the polls in Wisconsin showed Hillary Clinton would defeat Donald Trump by 6.5 points. In fact, she lost the state to Trump narrowly. You think that this result and that the result generally might produce some humility on the part of the pollsters? No. Here's another one. 3. Hiding Trump's accomplishments. You guys notice they never want to talk about what Trump has accomplished or what Trump has done. This is why if you have a bill that's front and center with these Democrats, you have a bill that's right there on the surface. They don't want to work with the president if it's bipartisanly because that's going to put him in a spotlight too. So they can't do that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to play ball. So they hide his accomplishments. Maybe ABC and the Post are correct and Trump is going to lose Washington by 17 points and Biden will lead the most epic landslide in history. It's certainly possible, but while the media are obsessing over a horse race polls, they're downplaying both Trump's record and accomplishments and enthusiasm from his voters. Guys, Trump has been producing enthusiasm like I've never seen in my life. It is mind-blowing, guys. And the crowds, is that going to convert or transform the voting? I believe it will. I hope so it does. But I believe it will. 4, peddling out obviously fake narratives. This week, the news saw supposedly high-ranking anonymous government official published in 2018 New York Times op-ed about secretly undermining the president he personally disagreed with. In fact, a 30-year-old mid-level bureaucrat nobody ever heard of. The fake narrative that the New York Times narrowly promulgated roiled the administration for months, if not years, as a high-level cabinet officials. They threw that crap out. Turns out, denying the secret, unconstitutionally undermining the elected president of the United States, he was a low-level person. Miles Taylor of Homeland Security, a policy analyst. It's a policy analyst. What the hell? And so, with the deceptive words, they're going to say things to the American people. It goes to their mind, and oh my gosh, it's someone who's right next to the president. It has to be true. Little lemmings. Look here, dummies. Don't do that to yourself. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Stay off the drugs. 5. They're cheering on suppression of speech by enemies. When Jack Dorsey and his Twitter employees suspended the account of the New York Post, other media outlets could have sounded the alarm about the violations of this country's spirit of freedom to speak, speech freely. Is that happening? Instead, they stayed more silent, more or less silent. CNN's Jake Tapper, who has no problem in his opinion on the daily and his seeing hatred of Trump officials, mentioned the Post suspension, but refused to take sides about it. He mentioned it, but he was like, he didn't go that far. That's sad, guys. And do you guys want to live in a country? That's some Russian-type tactics. She goes on to talk about will he succeed or whatever. I don't think they are. Look, I believe we're in the greatest position to be in as far as a presidential election is concerned. We do have the win on our backs. We are making the case. We will stand up and go and fight for our president. And so, as I come back, we're going to dig deep and make this final stand with less than 2 days to go. Who will be the number one president in the world? Who will be re-elected? Donald J. Trump. Be right back on the American's Voice. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to continue to move and groove on this incredible, beautiful Sunday here with your super stellar one, still creating excitement and the buzz here on these airwaves. Oh yeah, where we do the Vulcan Mind Meld every single week right here, connecting the souls and fighting for the soul of this country truly. Welcome back, you guys. Let's continue. Man, oh man, I got so much stuff to get to, and I'm the stack here. And one thing that's frustrating about talk radio is the time that you have. And I'm gonna be very brief on this here because you have all this preparation that you do, and for some reason, it seems like every single week you try to custom fit and customize your show or what you're attempting to say, but it just doesn't work out all the time. So we're going to do the best we can today. But yeah, Trump is getting endorsements. But I want to also give Trump credit too. Over at thehill.com, we had U.S. forces rescuing American citizen. Again, a held hostage in Nigeria. U.S. forces have rescued an American citizen held hostage in northern Nigeria. The Pentagon announced Saturday, with President Trump hailing the rescue mission as a big win for the U.S. forces, a big win for the very elite U.S. Special Forces today, Trump tweeted Saturday morning. We followed up by praising the courageous soldiers who carried out the mission. And we got to thank our soldiers. Last night, our country's brave warrior rescued an American hostage in Nigeria. Our nation salutes the courageous soldiers behind the daring nightmare rescue operation and celebrates the safe return of yet another American citizen, he tweeted. He goes down and says the officials did not initially name the rescued U.S. citizen, but multiple outlets identified the person as Philip Walton, 27. The White House senior advisor Ivanka Trump in the National Counterterrorism Center later confirmed the hostage's identity on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm bringing this up, right before the election, because you need to know, once again, I'm going to pound the message today. You got to know who you're voting for and why you're voting for President Donald Trump. Some people won't vote for Trump because, they just don't like him. Or they're voting for Biden because they hate Trump. Those are some of the most stupid reasons to vote for a person. If you're voting for somebody because you don't like the other candidate, you might fall in that category of being an idiot. But if you blindly vote for a candidate and don't look at his policies like they did in 2008 with Obama, a lot of my black friends, you're an idiot. So, but I bring up the Special Forces rescue because I want to talk about some things that didn't go quite right under the last administration. While we have Barack Obama bashing the president continually, day in and day out, Barack Obama is intimidated by President Donald Trump, while he say that Trump is intimidated by the coronavirus and because he's getting the media coverage, more media coverage than him. What are you, 13 years old? In fact, I apologize, you 13-year-olds. You guys don't even say anything that's stupid. Okay? But I want to take you back to 2015, I believe it was. Yeah, 2015. February 10th, 5:34 p.m. We're going to take a walk down memory lane. And we're going to look at presidents that are presidents of action. Then you have ones that are of inaction. Someone asked me today, was Barack Obama a good president? I said he was my president. I said he didn't make the best decisions, so I didn't even bash him there. But he was probably the second worst president after, didn't bring up Wilson, but Jimmy Carter. But February 10, 2015, here's a news article here, and it was Fox 31. And this is where news is breaking about Kayla Mueller. You guys remember her, right? In the midst of all the Black Lives Matter crap, the BLM crap that's being pushed on all the American people, which it seems like it's been simmering a little bit, with this message of how this country's built and how we're the hate are in our roots, the bigotry is in our roots. Well, the American ISIS hostage, Kayla Mueller, is dead, family says. Do you guys remember the day? Do you guys remember the feeling in America? That's one of ours. I don't care what color she is. People get hung up on color. I don't care what color she is. It's irrelevant. She is an American. And you look at her picture, just happy, full of verve, wanting to make a difference. But a little piece of this article says the family of Kayla Mueller, an American woman held captive by Islamist terrorist groups, ISIS, said Tuesday it has received confirmation she is dead. We are heartbroken and share that we've received confirmation that Kayla Jean Mueller has lost her life. A statement from the family reads, on Friday, ISIS claimed that Kayla had been killed in a building that was hit during a Jordanian strike on Raqqa, and the militant's de facto capital in Syria. At the time, ISIS offered no proof to back up its claims other than an image of the building and rubble. Here's the fact. She died. And there is a reason why. All these people beating Trump over the head while soldiers come back home, or are the soldiers' remains from North Korea, we got those back. Trump, you constantly hearing people releasing, and we still have, I think, 3 in Iran. But you're recovering soldiers. Trump is such a different president than Obama was. But in the midst of all the hype out here, them bashing him, I want everyone to remember just who Kayla Mueller was. And if her family said if they believe Donald Trump was president, and that's going to dovetail off into what I got to talk to about Obama, they believe their daughter would have been alive. Video bite number one,
At
please.
about 4 or 5 a.m.
Her friends had called to say their 24-year-old daughter, Kayla, had gone missing.
They called us and said, they weren't really concerned, don't worry.
Marcia and Carl Mueller soon learned from Kayla herself that there was plenty to worry about.
My name is Kayla Mueller. I need your help. It's very terrifying here.
And then it went blank.
Kayla had been captured by one of the most brutal terror groups the world has ever known, ISIS.
You just go into almost a catatonic state, I think. You just can't even stand up.
Carl owned an auto repair shop. Marcia, a former nurse. Nothing prepared the Muellers for what was about to happen. The scary, secret world they were about to enter.
This kind of thing tears people apart.
As the world would later watch the brutal murders by ISIS of 3 young American men.
I'm Barack Obama.
The plight of a 4th American hostage, Kayla, was kept a closely held secret.
Obviously, the White House doesn't want this to all come out.
Her daughter.
Would your staff negotiate for Kayla?
And the people the Muellers now say failed their daughter, including prominent humanitarian organizations and the Obama administration.
The president could have been a hero, and he chose not to be.
Look at her. There's our little girl. So we're gonna name her Kayla. Kayla? That's a pretty name.
Hey, Kayla. Little girl. She was a really happy little kid and loved living.
She was very intelligent, very intelligent.
I hope I never forget that everything happens for a reason and that nothing should be a regret.
Morning.
That is an American citizen. And don't doubt the foreign policy that we had back then. It was different. We didn't really, we didn't want to go and negotiate with terrorists, had that strong stance. And something about the president's style, something about the way his mind works, being that deal maker, that go-getter. Is that not who you want to be your president? I say yes. But we have that's a tribute to her, and pray for her family, and best wishes to them too as well, the Mueller family. But back to Obama. Him and Biden were in Flint yesterday. And back in 2008, Obama produced all, this magic and this enthusiasm. Still unmatched to Trump's, but they're trying to conjure this magic up again. And here's the thing. They're preaching a message, drawing like 75 cars. They're preaching a message that people have heard before. Let me tell you something. You see a movie for the first time, and the movie's a really good movie, and you see it again and again. By the time you get to like the 10th time, you kind of start to know the movie. So you're like, why am I watching this movie again? Well, I mean, you can watch the movie, but you're like, why am I watching this movie again? We've seen this movie before. But the difference now is they're older and angrier. And you got 75 people, 75 cars, sitting inside the car, sitting out of the car. Let me paint the picture for you. So here I got 75 cars coming in, okay? Now, mind you, on this side, we have a Trump route. We have Trump. Okay. This side, we have 75 cars and people doing their thing. All right. And they're sitting there in their car and they're comfortable, because some of those states, Midwest, it's really cold right now. But they have their heat on. They're honking their horn from time to time. A regular liberal, right? A leftist, right? But anyways, that message that they're spitting, it's an old message. It's a quiet message. It's a dead message. It's a played out message. It's an outdated campaign message of fear. Meanwhile, you have Trump supporters, die-hard Americans, people that are ready to go. They're gearing up for their country. They got the election in their crosshairs. The American people are extremely unique. They're fantastic. But here they're out. They show the love for their country. They show the love for their president. They're willing to serve their country. They're out in 10-degree weather. Don't let the wind chill factor come out there. They're below. They're in the negative Fahrenheit, right? They're in Celsius, all that crap, all these little words being thrown out there. But they're in negative territory. But they're out here paying a price. And so they're out there in the cold. They're freezing. They can't feel their fingers. Their hands are numb. Their face is frozen stiff. But not so stiff to where they can't say USA. USA. Or President Trump, we love you. Mind you, I am not a sycophant or a special pleader for the president. But if you want facts, if you want truth, vote Donald Trump. But so, here they are out here. These crazy leftists trying to bash the president. But we're going to handle them right now. Let's pull out video bite number 2. I have President Obama talking about the presidency, revealing who you are. Video bite number 2, please.
But he and I came from different places, part of different generations. But I quickly came to admire Joe as a man who learned early on to treat everybody he meets with dignity and with respect. Living by the words his mom taught him, no one's better than you, Joe, but you're no better than anybody else. And that sense of decency and empathy, the belief in hard work and family and faith, the belief that everybody counts, that's who Joe is. And that's who he'll be as president. I can tell you, the presidency doesn't change who you are. It shows who you are. It reveals who you are.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Obama. You showed us to you to be weak, ineffective, gun shy. And that brings me to Kayla Mueller. That whole Kayla Mueller thing right there. Waiting a month. They fell short. Let President Trump do something like that. But failure to lead also as well. Obama led from behind. How does that normally work? Doesn't work too much. But you're a fraud, buddy. And I guess Donald Trump is a masterful chess player. That's what I call him. A great leader that leads from the front, getting things done for the American people, not afraid to push back against the media or the Democrat Party or the Green Party or the wacko rhinos, or any of them, or the intelligence agencies. Donald Trump takes the stand for all of them. And in comparison to him and Obama, when you're talking about the rising level of courage that will come from a president, Donald Trump has displayed all those things. And so Obama continues with his tirade. And it's so crazy because he's talking about Joe Biden being the last man in the room, right? Let me tell you why Joe Biden was the last man in the room. He was the last man in the room because he couldn't find his way out because he didn't know where the hell he was. That's why he was the last man in the room. Let's be real about it. Video bite number 3.
And for 8 years, Joe was the last one in the room whenever I faced a big decision. And he made me a better president. He's got the character and the experience to make us a better country. And he and Kamala are going to be in the fight not for themselves, but for every single one of us. And we sure can't say that about the president we've got right now. I've said this before. I never thought Donald Trump would embrace my vision. I understood he didn't agree with my policies, but I did hope for the country's sake that he might show some interest in the job. He might take the job seriously. He never has.
Now I have to unpack this one here. Trump not taking his job seriously. Trump not taking his job seriously. Do you guys hear the stupidity? This man was once the most powerful man in the world. Not taking it seriously. How about the 410 miles of wall that are built? How about criminal justice reform? How about the First Step Act? How about funding for black colleges? How about the fight against the opioid addiction? How about the fight against child trafficking, sex trafficking? None of this stuff was being talked about when you were president, when Bush was president, when Clinton was president, when the other Bush was president. Not one iota. And how about this? We have lowest black employment in American history. For the Latinos too. How about the income rise? $6,000 in the positive, net positive. You go and you look for facts, you'll find them. Okay? In 3.5 years, he was able to complete this. And so he says, Biden, what you did in 47 years, which is nothing, I was able to do in 47 months. Trump is a GOAT. Don't doubt me on this one here. But the American people are making money. There's jobs everywhere. And what about Obama? I still haven't got my $2,500. Can I get that, please? Anyways, Trump is actually getting us money. And Obama and them, they want to give you coupons. That's the difference between the governments. Obama or the Biden administration, they want to give you vouchers and coupons. Trump want to give you dollars and fedia, money, loot, lettuce, cheddar, cheese, money. Pick your acronym. That's what Trump wants to do for the American people. And I'm cool on that. So, let's move to video bite 4. Here he is again, peddling the reality star. Like, Trump really used to do that. Come on, man. Trump is so over The Apprentice, y'all. Come on. That's an old one, Obama. Video bite 4.
He hasn't shown any interest in doing the work or helping anybody but himself and his friends or treating the presidency as anything more than a reality show to give him the attention that he craves. But unfortunately, the rest of us have to live with the consequences. Almost 230,000 Americans are dead. More than 100,000 small businesses have closed. Almost 300,000 jobs are gone in Michigan alone. America just had its single worst week of new COVID cases. And what's his closing argument? Here we are, the worst week, this week. I mean, we've been going through this now for months. The federal government has had an opportunity to respond for months. And his closing argument this week is that the press and people are too focused on COVID.
Just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. What is the problem with these lefties? These left field lefties. They got the left glove, they got the left ball, got one left shoe on. They're left as hell. Donald Trump's the businessman, the go-getter, the alpha mannerism that he has. And they played at 230,000 deaths or whatever, lost to COVID. Now, mind you, every single one of those lives are important. One life is too many lost. But don't sit here and wave your nose or thumb your finger in my eye trying to tell me about all the deaths lost to COVID. The China virus. Okay? When we've killed 61 million of our babies in this country being stewards of our people, are we truly being stewards? I'm going to say no. But they refuse to talk about the good. The things that are happening in their country, the booming economy. They never want to talk about that. They're in complete denial. And I'm not talking about the Nile River, okay? But they never want to talk about the rising consumer confidence and belief in America, in its president. They never want to talk about the president's recent approval number, 51% overall rating. More than half of the country approves of the job Donald Trump is doing. And about the federal government not responding, are you kidding me? What did you guys do with the swine flu? The H1N1 flu, where 60 million people tested positive. 60 million, not 9 million, 60 million people. And thank God it was less fatal, because if it was under Obama and their watch, far more people in this country will be dead right now. Don't doubt me on that one either. But He can't respond, he says. What about the ventilators? We didn't have any at all, had a few in the country. What about all the masks? There's masks everywhere. Masks are raining from the sky. I was walking down the street and I got attacked by 2 masks. They almost got my wallet. So many masks. Javits Center. You got PPE all over the country. And what about the vaccine that's coming with Mach Speed and the therapeutics? Regeneron, what the president took. And he's up and running like a 15-year-old boy. In fact, I believe Trump catching COVID gave him the ability to run as hard as he is the last stretch in the leg of that, because he gets that infusion of that Regeneron. And then all of a sudden, he comes out like a baby, fresh, brand new boy, and Trump is on a roll. But what about the vaccine? According to Joe Biden and Dr. Fauci, which is out the box now, and I said this some months ago, that the things that Fauci was saying, you might as well be in the Biden administration. He's a Democrat. He's a bureaucrat, and he needs to go too. In fact, if I was Trump, I'd get rid of him too as quickly as possible. But the 2 to 3 year calculation out, we'll be on to something else by then. COVID-19 will be a thing of the past by the time they get a vaccine. So let's go. We have therapeutics. We have a vaccine coming right around the corner within weeks, in less than a year. Less than a year. Think about that. That's amazing. There's nothing ever been done like this in the history by the federal government. Look at the post office. Look at the Social Security office. Look at any governmental business that you go into. It's always ration care, ration this, stand in line, take a number. You pull out that number, you go up there. Pull out the number, 1,266. Oh no, 100,000. How did I get? And that's what it's like every time you go in there. So Trump and Mach Speed and Obama talking about the government just isn't true. Being operated by Mike Pence, Operation Warp Speed, excuse me. Sharp, solid. He is a patriot as well. And didn't you guys love how he dismantled Kamala? Kamala's a paper tiger. You like to strike a match, she's going to go up in a flame just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me. Anyways, when it goes poof, that'll be the proof. But let's continue. We have angry and desperate Obama. You see the different characteristics as Obama was talking. Video bite number 5. He continues to expose himself for the hack that he is, and no message, no power, and no pull. Let's go.
Joe Biden and I, with the help of a Democratic Congress, rescued the auto industry. Gary Peters was there. He told us to bet on Michigan, and we did. And manufacturing in Michigan grew by 15% over our last 4 years. Trump promised he'd make Michigan the manufacturing hub of the world again. It's up 1% under his first 4 years. 15% under Obama Biden, 1% under him. That's Michigan, right here. We handed him the longest streak of job growth in American history. But the economic damage he inflicted by botching the pandemic response means he'll be the only president since Herbert Hoover to actually lose jobs.
15%, 1%, 15%, 1%. That's all you got, Mr. Obama. Big business bailouts. You guys save the auto industry. You guys are bailing out all these big companies that don't really need your help. Democrat ran cities. 60 years. The auto industry was under that Democrat malpractice in business in the governmental structure. 60 years. Cities like Flint, Michigan was under the clutches of a blue state. And they're talking about making money, right? And any of the other mom and pop stores you got out there, those bailouts should have been for them. But you're bailing out people that were not being responsible. This isn't their first go around as far as building a business is concerned. This isn't their first prospect or their first opportunity. You have these multi-billionaires, these people running these car companies, everything that they need, that they have at their disposal, and we got the government, the federal government, coming and bailing them out. Here, we're going to give you a hand here. After all your billions, your power lunches, and everyone being able to live great, your kids live great, the mom live great, the grandma live great, generations being taken care of. Now it's the responsibility of the American people whom I've never met you before, seen you before. But yet, I got to bail you out? Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. So, this is what I say here. What is Obama doing, or what he did, or what did he do truly after that? Remember he was talking about the manufacturing jobs not coming back? Remember he was saying that, those days were over? Remember he was saying that you have to have a magic wand or something like that? Remember he was campaigning for Hillary Clinton? And he said they're not coming back. He said this with his own voice, and we have it on tape. Obama 2016, manufacturing jobs are not coming back. Video bite number 6, please. Let's go.
That folks are trained for the jobs that are coming in now, because some of those jobs of the past are just not going to come back. And when somebody says, like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for, that he's going to bring all these jobs back. Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do? There's no answer to it. He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is he doesn't have an answer.
There he is. That's Obama, right? Or is that an imposter? The jobs are not coming back. Did the economy boom before the China virus? I think it did. Did Obama do anything? Has anyone given the president any advice or help or side alongside him and saying, hey, you know what, this is for the American people. Let's put all this stuff to the side and let's get the work done. They can't do that because it's not in their DNA. Obama painted a bleak, dark picture of America upon his exit from the White House. And you look at it now. It's complete opposite of what they said. Guys, everything the Democrats say the Republicans or Trump is doing, they're doing it. Every time they say we're the ones that are failing, they're the ones that's failing. When they say that we're down the pollings, we're the ones that's up in the polling. But he said they won't come back. Here's the reason why it did come back. Because the Americans will choose Trump, and I believe they're going to choose him less than 2 days from now. Video bite number 7. Let's roll.
Suburban women, they love me. You know why? They want security, and they don't want projects being right next to their house.
Democrats are trying to turn a red state blue.
Our way of life is under attack by D.C. liberals and lobbyists.
Stop 2020! I don't want the country to be lost because he is lost.
Shut your mouth!
Biden wouldn't be my ideal candidate. It's just that he's not Donald Trump.
You can vote for that pig if you want to.
There are a lot of jobs.
We've been ignored and ignored and ignored. I talked to a lot of people, union guys, people who would never, ever say they would vote for a Republican, ever. And they're all in.
He has championed parts of this country and people in this country that really have been forgotten and left behind. The blue-collar workers that were told by our previous president all of their jobs were gone and they could not get manufacturing jobs back. We're sorry, they're gone forever. He brought those back.
Fracking come along, and there's so many jobs it provided, it's just unbelievable, especially in Pittsburgh.
By the status quo of American leadership.
Donald Trump had tapped into and figured out sort of an opportunity among a part of the Republican electorate that was really angry about things like trade deals, really angry about immigration, and really angry at the Republican
Why does he appeal so much in the Rust Belt?
Well, because we lost 90% of our jobs. This used to be the biggest area in the world for steel mills. We've lost almost all our industry.
You might have once thought was naturally Democrat. It still does broadly lean that way. But Donald Trump has won a lot of those people over.
Take a drive around and you find plenty here who were once Democrats and are now Trump's Republicans.
We lost all those jobs to foreign countries. Then we lost jobs, we lost people. You lose people, you lose money.
And it'll take a businessman to fix that.
I really believe that.
Critically, of people who tear down statues of Confederate generals.
You'll be taking your monuments down. You'll be taking your statues down.
Essentially framing the election as Republicans, patriots, defenders of America, versus Democrats, socialists, outside influences, trying to
My
tell
heart
that
is
one.
with the hardworking patriots of all backgrounds who build up our communities, not the violent criminals and extremists and agitators and anarchists.
Isn't that a great little video? You even see liberals on that video admitting that they made a mistake. Trade deals, crooked Washington, the same old, same old, same old. Guys, here's the facts. The stuff has been going on for a long time. And the American people are at a point where they're like, we're just done. We don't want it anymore. What you guys have been selling us, the wolf tickets you guys have been selling us, it sounded good. For 60 years, blacks have been locked down under the thumb of the Democrat Party. For 60 years, they've seen them speak one message and out the same mouth another message came out. Yeah, we want your vote, but we want you to be segregated. We want your vote, but you can't drink from this water faucet. We want your vote, but you can't have these white pies only. These pies for white people. These ain't pies for black people. We lived through all that. And yet still, they're pandering for the vote under the guise of we gonna make things better. Straight liars. Straight liars. But before I remember, I'll continue on that. There was an article here in Breitbart that ties in beautifully like a nice little present. I'm gonna put the bow on top here for you. Carney says here 7 winning policies that Trump deployed to revive U.S. manufacturing. I thought he said it wasn't coming back, right? Americans are about to decide whether or not to give President Donald Trump a second term. One of his key selling points is the progress that he has made restoring American manufacturing. Here you can read how much the Trump administration has led the nation in rebuilding jobs, output, wages, and exports. But this did not. But how did this happen? He says. What policies created the boom? 1, tearing up the Trans-Pacific Partnership. You guys remember that? President Trump immediately, I remember when he first got there, the third day of his presidency, withdrew from the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership known as the TPP. He rejected the deal negotiated under Barack Obama's administration. He came in tearing stuff up. 2, pulling U.S. out of Paris Climate Agreement. That was great right there. You got these guys with the climate change, these climate change alarmists. And what they want to do, they want to put this blanket over the United States of America and allow us to have these high standards. When you have China that outnumbers by 1,300,000,000 people, you have India that outnumbers by 1,000,000,000 people. They're not moving forward to using these standards, and China doesn't have to start working on their standards to 2035. Who got robbed and hit over the head with a sock full of nickels? America did, and Obama was the dummy that gave it to him. Okay, so Trump pulled us out of that. Protecting domestic washing machines and solar panel producers from unfair competition. Trump approved the global safeguard tariffs on an $8.5 billion in imports of solar panels and $1.8 billion of washing machines on January 22nd, 2018. Now, you guys remember they were making fun of him, talking about making the whooshing noise of the washing machines and stuff like that. They were clowning him. Here's the fact. There's a thing called cause and effect. There's a cause, there's something that you do later on, effect happens. Trump was working 2 years ago to get the result now. Okay? Protecting, also saving aluminum and steel. The administration also investigated and revealed the global gluts of metal due to the vast overproduction of China was imperiling the U.S.'s capacity to produce steel and aluminum. That in turn was a serious threat to the U.S. national security because now we're beholden to China. You guys, you pick up almost anything made in China, made in China, made in China. I'm like I'm freaking quicksand here. You got your sister, your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your mama, everybody popping out of a freaking bottle of rice, a bowl of rice, or a bottle of a gin or a bottle of soda. Pick your drink. But 5, imposing tariffs on China. He stopped China's predatory mercantilism. Now, China was eating our lunch. You just heard what I just said. 2017, the U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer announced an investigation into China's policies that might have been hampering U.S. property rights, innovation, and technology. The devastating report found China was stealing U.S. technology and forcing U.S. companies to hand over tech to Chinese-controlled joint ventures. The Trump administration responded with a $50 billion list of 1,333 Chinese products on which it intended to impose 25% tariffs. You go on and read the story there at Breitbart. But this is a big one here. Everyone said it wasn't going to work. 6, enacting the Phase 1 trade agreement with China on January 15th, 2020. But I thought he did nothing. I thought he just wanted to make everything a reality show, Mr. Obama. Trump is engaged talking to people every single day. replacing NAFTA with the USMCA. The Trump administration scrapped the 1990s era North America Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, which was a joke, replacing it with the US-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. The New Deal creates more level playing field for the American workers, including the effective rules of origin for automobiles, trucks, and other products. Now, you remember our plants and stuff are moving to other foreign countries, Mexico and the like, and we're getting our hat handed to us. But Trump said, not so much. Not so much. I want to play this clip here from Obama. Then we're going to take a quick break and going to continue to dig in. This is video bite number 8. And this is Obama screaming for Biden. And he did it several times. I want you to check this video. It's so funny. He announced Biden, not just once, but several times. And just in case you missed it, this is ugly building. It's like an old high school from a horror movie. You know, it's all tattered and stuff like that. The filming wasn't right. You look at Trump, it's all beautiful. Then Biden emerges out the doors and begins to run like an irresponsible 7th grader, like he's about to miss his bus. Wait for me. Video bite number 8, please. Let's go.
And we will elect a man who loves this country and who cares about you and who will fight for every single one of us and will look out not just for folks who support him, but even the folks who don't. My friend, the next president of the United States of America, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Honk if you're fired up. Honk if you are ready to go. Joe Biden.
Put in place months and months ago a plan for full and fair and free, I might add, distribution of therapeutics and vaccines when we get one. Imagine where we'd be if we had a president who wore a mask instead of mocking it. I can tell you this, we wouldn't have 9 million confirmed cases of COVID in this nation. We wouldn't be by the way, 500,000 in just the past week. This guy tells us it's going away. Only thing's gonna make it go away if he goes away. That's why we have to support our military and get rid of Trump.
If it wasn't a serious time in the world, that would be extremely funny. And it's sad that people are actually voting for this guy and celebrities and the like. And boy, I'm going to get to Lady Gaga because she made a fatal mistake attempting to duplicate and act like one of us. But don't doubt, guys, even though he makes mistakes and gaffes, like that word he was saying, I don't know what the hell that word was, whatever. He's being more gaffe prone as we get closer to the election. But even though he makes his mistakes, you still have a media, a tech complex, and you have so many other forces working to knock your vote out of the box and to remove you from the ballot and have Joe Biden inserted as the president of the United States of America, and we can't let that happen. So we're going to continue to move on. This train is moving and the pitcher is back. I'm cocking my arm, ready for the strike, and we're going to do that when we come back. See you in a second.
Nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me. You ain't all your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations. I recognize your false confidence and calculated promises all in your conversation. I hate people that feel entitled. Look at me crazy cause I ain't invite you. Oh, you important, you the moral to the story. You endorsing, motherfucker, I don't even like you. Corrupt a man's heart with a gift. That's how you find out who you dealing with. A smart percentage you I'm building with. I want the credit if I'm losing or I'm winning. On my mama, that's the realest shit.
Let's talk about love. Easy
continue to move on this beautiful Sunday. Excited to move on with every one of you guys, kicking up dust and making a difference in the United States of America. I want to talk a little bit about America. And you guys probably say, Yanni, you always want to talk about America. Yeah, I do. America is an exceptional country. The greatest experiment in the world. And we have an absolute opportunity right now to make sure that our country stays great. And so I thank God for the voting systems that we have. I thank God for the avenues that we can go down to make sure that we protest quietly and peacefully, except for it's a Trump rally. But the best way, if you're looking at the polls, if you're a poll watcher out there, the best way I want to say, if you want to know if the polls that you see out there, and if you want to know the polls are real, if you want to know what the litmus test of the polls are, if you want to try to understand how the mechanics work, the graphs and things like that, I'm going to point you one direction. If you want to look and understand the polls, I submit to you, the hell with the damn polls. Look at the crowds that Donald Trump is bringing. Look at the chants that we love you. Look at the extreme enthusiasm, the excitement, the red, white, and blue flags, the Trump flags, the overwhelming force of support for the president. That's the biggest poll ever. And I believe, I heard somebody else say this, but I believe after this election, polling companies are going to have to take a real hard look at how they do things. They're going to have to take a real hard look. Because if not, the result's going to be the same every single time, and they're going to be frustrated. All those liberal left lunatics out there, they're going to be hurt. They're going to be crying in their beer every 4 years, every 2 years. Do you really want that to happen? I do. And I say that proudly. But it's the biggest poll ever. Never seen anything like it. All season, our team has been getting beat and battered. All season, our team has been at the brink of being pushed off of the map, being pushed to the brink of accepting that this is how it's going to be, and keeps on fighting. Our star center, number 45, is holding it down in the paint. He's in the low block, sliding to the right to swat that crap that his opponents is attempting, the Democrats that are attempting to put up. It's a beautiful thing. Let me paint a picture for you here. They're sending point guards in an attempt to drop dimes to score against American democracy. They come in for a layup of Marxism, packed hard to the floor. What about that three ball of socialism, of governmental control and takeover? That three ball is a devastating one. That three ball wins games, boy. I mean, just boom, just hit that three, right? Try to hit it. But that three ball of socialism and governmental control, that government control medicine, the government power that they want to have on over our life. And here they come, sending her forward. AOC, AOC, like Mark Levin calls her. She has some tricks up her sleeve, but once again, the sixth man is in that jersey, and that shot is altered. So therefore, the shot is missed, and it's an amazing thing. What about that sixth man? How important is a sixth man to a basketball team? Very important. That sixth man produces and gives things that you're not used to. Normally under normal players, that sixth man is tough, tenacity, showing tenacity, tenacious defense, obviously. That sixth man is right there for that layup. That sixth man is right there blocking the ball. He's doing all those little extra things to make the game worth playing. But here we go. We have AOC. And she has tricks up her sleeve. Once again, she's right there. That sixth man's in her jersey, altering that shot. Okay? And she missed because of that lock-up defense. The defense that locks up and wins championships. But let's continue. How about the racists? This Charlottesville lie. That 12-footer right there being shot to the left by their shooting guard, number 40, Joe Biden once again. The star center, 45, is right there. And he's in the place, slapping that ball right to the 18th row. Yeah, you can keep that. Yeah, just I'll autograph it later. He's known for his tenacious defense. He's known to put the team on his back in clutch situations. He's known to drop that no-look pass to make sure he's giving his teammate number one, the American people, the best chance to score with ease. That has been the characteristic of our president, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump has been, the characteristics of him has been like that star player, that Kobe Bryant-esque, that Michael Jordan-esque type mindset. Not LeBron James, okay? I'm not going for the fakers, the LA fakers. See, I brought that name back for them. Yeah, they're the LA fakers. But the characteristics, he put the team on his back. So all the crap that he's been enduring, and us as a team, getting beaten battered for 4 years. Almost 4 years we've been getting beat, being bled out in the media, being bled out and exposed and censored by tech and big media, being exposed by the governmental agencies, intelligence agencies. They've been trying to do a number on the American people. But right here, when all the games have been played, the game of impeachment, the game of the Ukraine scandal, the game of the Billy Bush tape, the game of Stormy Daniels, the game of that other girl who they were talking about, the game of Russia, the game of Mueller, the game of Flynn, which he's still dealing with, which is a disgrace. All those games led us up to the championship. Why? Because Trump keeps winning and winning and winning. They say that he's not winning, but it's proof in the pudding. In fact, I've talked about a plethora of things today on this program to show you that Donald Trump is not what Obama says he is. And so that's been the characteristics of him. He's number 45. And so to this point, November 1st, 2020, the emerging sixth man, poised and pumped and focused and excited to lead his team to the championship. That is you, the American people. That is you, the patriots out there. The Charles Paynes, the Paul Reveres, the Thomas Paines. That's you guys out there. America has picked themselves to be the sixth man. I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, as Donald Trump has gotten us into striking distance for the championship, the American people have bled out into the streets. Red, white, and blue flags, Trump flags. We love our country being chanted. We love our country being the greatest being chanted. We love America being chanted. We love our president being chanted. This is what's going on. And getting out the vote in the effort of showing our talent is worthy of that six-man award. How about the Mega Hulk? You guys seen him out there, this black dude out there big as hell? Can you imagine trying to make him change his vote? Can you imagine trying to knock the ballot out of his hand? You don't vote for the right person. I don't like your view. But I'll take it a step further. Us Americans. American is that boxer. You know, he strikes his opponent with a critical blow. And he sees blood. America, are you guys seeing blood? Look here. America, are you guys seeing blood? Americans are. And we bleed red, white, and blue, understanding the time. It's time to go in for the kill. President Donald Trump, for the last 4 years, has given us a clinic of punches and moves and blows and bobbing and weaving and shucking and jiving and back and forth. Being the tactician that he is, skillfully putting his opponent against the ropes. And the closing bells are here. Here it comes. The American people are coming in for the knockout. Doesn't matter your boxing style, whether you're southpaw or right paw or straight up brawl or hell. It doesn't matter. Get pots and pans and beat them. Or if you're that type of boxer, you know, like Lennox Lewis, I couldn't stand that guy. I mean, sure, a nice guy, I'm sure. But he'd get on this bike and he'd run and pedal. And he always irritated me when he'd do his little pedaling things. Like, you know, he's like on the bike, he's like, dude, fight. But he wouldn't do that. It doesn't matter what time what type of style you're at, what the hell what it is. That opponent is America. And one side note, if you think about it, just look at Joe Biden. You see a variety of colors, and you look at the Joe Biden rally or whatever is a car rally. You know, you just see blue and this and that. You see America, it's popping, it's beautiful. You know, the Democrat, loony, liberal, blue, leftist colors they like dark colors too. You know, put them in black. You know what I mean? You know, the same blue curtain that they put up. You know, they show up every 4 years. Anyways, it comes in patterns. And those patterns they try to do is get your vote. They try to get you in and look nice and pretty like Kamala Harris, whom right now is pushing Marxism. Out in the open, full-throated Marxism. Everyone needs to start from here, and to get to there, everyone needs to end at the same place. Who the hell do you think you are to try to tell or determine who's going to be here or where? But they want to fill their coffers with the special interest monies and robbing the American people blind, putting them in that position under the guise of Robin Hood. I'm here to save you, so to speak, they say. Are they really here to save me? Wait a minute. You know, giving out all those summertime goodies. Who the hell's going to pay for the free college? No one really knows. And so, to me, America is that boxer. America is the sixth man. Donald Trump is our star player, and we should totally be excited about what Donald Trump is doing. On to some foreign policy. Earlier we were talking about Kayla Mueller, and I want to hit this real quick. I found another article too. I was on break, and it was talking about Donald Trump, how he has reversed years, decades actually, of American hostage policy. For the last half a century, the U.S. government's official policy for responding to the kidnapping of Americans overseas for political purposes has been to refuse to negotiate. Hear me out here, guys. Think about there's a life in the balance. Someone is about to lose their life or someone's been kidnapped. For the last half century, hear me out here, the U.S. government's official policy for responding to the kidnapping of Americans overseas for political purposes has been to refuse to negotiate for political purposes. So your political status is more important than a human life, which is an American citizen that belongs to our country. 1973, the 8 members of the Palestinian terror group Black September overran the Saudi embassy and asked for reporters for his response. President Richard Nixon declared that we will not pay blackmail. Within hours, the 2 American diplomats, along with the Belgian colleague, were stood up against a basement wall and shot. President Ronald Reagan also proclaimed he would never make concessions to terrorists, but did so in secret. Stop right there. This is over at the New Yorker. Go check it out. This article is so eye-opening because the way that we do hostage policy, foreign policy, Trump came in and turned it on its head. And as you can see, we have soldiers that have been in captive, not having to pay all this money and ransom like Biden did. Biden. Not putting us in a position to where we're giving out tons of taxpayers' monies to pay for a soldier to get back instead of going and doing a strike or whatever. Trump is doing it all. And Trump is going to the next level. I love it right here because let me read a little bit here. He did it in secret, most notably when he made the deal to sell weapons to Iran in exchange for help for freeing the U.S. hostages held by Hezbollah in Lebanon. Listen to that word Hezbollah. These guys have been around a long time causing havoc, and that's why the whole two-state solution they were trying to push for in the Palestine, all that crap, these guys are terrorists. They need to be defeated too. And we have an uptick as well in France, guys, of a lot of terrorist activities going on right now. So look at it, keep an eye on it, and just be thankful that you're in America, the safest country in the world. But as I wrap this Sunday up and continue to impart this wisdom for you guys to vote and vote hard, Lady Gaga, get ready because I'm about to pick on Lady Gaga. I'm finna pull her apart like that monkey bread. You know what I mean? I'm finna pick her apart. Because she's trying to represent you, trying to represent me, trying to represent the American people. Well, she's a total fraud. Okay? So, and I'm going to play this video clip here, the video bite here. And I want to read some comments as we exit out of some of the people that saw this little clip here. Video bite number 10. Lady Gaga trying to be an American and trying to steal the vote for her little celebrity type class in Follywood. Video bite 10, please. Let's go.
Hey, this is Lady Gaga. I'm voting for America, which means I'm voting for Joe Biden. And if you live in Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Florida, or Arizona, I encourage you to vote. And if you have a friend that lives there, tell them to vote. I'm going to be in one of these states tomorrow. Guess which one I'll be in? Hint, I used to live there. Cheers to the 2020 election.
Did you guys throw up on your sneakers? I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to catch you guys slipping out there, belly all out. What's with those boots? What's with the big truck? What's with her throwing away beer? What's with her crushing the can at the wrong time? You crush the can after you. Okay, Lady Gaga. First of all, wear some combat boots or something like that. Let me help you dress you real quick. This is the meat suit thing. Listen, Miss Gaga. Listen to what I'm saying here. Wrong boots, wrong suit, complete wrong suit, wrong glasses, wrong truck, wrong way to drink beer. You're all wrong. Here's some comments from the American people that saw this. One person commented after they looked at it on the Twitter feed, "How can I change my vote?" ? But wait, here's another one. What did I just watch? That's what they're saying, right? Here's another one. That did it for me. I'm voting for Trump all the way. I was voting for Biden, but those boots scared the hell out of me. How about this right here? This is fake and desperate. A fake and desperate thing. The most fake and desperate thing I've ever seen. Why throw away a whole full can of beer? People are really, I'm telling you, those guys are tough about that beer. I'm going to tell you. So I need to get myself and tow one back. But they insulted a lot of people who were still on the fence. Here's another comment. They insulted a lot of people who were still on the fence in this desperate attempts. It just looks and helps Trump keep winning, keep America great. Great work, Lassie. So she called her Lassie, come home and that's a good one. They insulted a lot of people that were still on the fence, Lady Gaga. Hollywood is disconnected. There is no connection at all. And why there's no connection, I don't know. They don't want to be connected. All the money and power that they have, they surround themselves with people that, yes men, yes women. That's what we had to endure the last 4 years. People bellowing from Hollywood, the mental patients like Robert De Niro, which I used to like, Jim Carrey, which I used to like, Samuel Jackson, which I used to like. And people say don't get politics and stuff mixed in. They're probably really nice people. But when it comes to attacking the president that I voted for, I take it as you attacking me. And all you American people, my closing argument is this. Has your life been better off than it was 4 years ago? Is your life better than it was 5 years ago? Is the policies that this president is incorporating, is it making things better for you? Blacks, the ones who fell for the banana in the tailpipe and the okie-doke for 60 years under Democrat rule. Donald Trump in 2016 says, give me a chance, vote for me, what do you have to lose? And now look at the country. Black unemployment low. Colleges for the blacks, their funding has been restored for 10 years. First Step Act, opportunity zones, prison reform, police reform they're working on right now. So many good things. So to say this president has done nothing, Mr. Obama, is false. To vote for Joe Biden is to vote against your country. To vote for Joe Biden is to vote against gas and oil and coal and all that stuff like that. To vote against Joe Biden, you're voting for the Green New Deal. You're voting for AOC. You're voting for the most radical senator in this country right now, Kamala Harris, that's left of Bernie Sanders. And it came out, it bled out today. She's talking about straight Marxism. How is that possible? America, in a couple days, less than a couple days, you guys have an opportunity to vote. And I say, vote Donald Trump, vote directly, straight Republican ticket, because we do have a country to save. And so every single week, your starting captain is right here on this microphone. And I'm here telling the truth, knocking lefties out of their senses, and keeping it real here in America on your channel, The American's Voice. I will see you guys next week. Go Trump. Let's win this thing and take our country back.